Good morning. So, some of you have seen, most of you have seen in the bulletins over the last several months, the little Run for Christ banners, as well as on the screens before services in the morning. Some of us don't know what that is or what it's about. And just real briefly before I start the actual testimony piece, the course for Run for Christ is a 5K course that starts in Curtis High School's property, right next to the stadium. We'll worship beforehand. There'll be a little testimony, some words shared beforehand. And then the run leaves Curtis High School and comes down through the neighborhoods to the church. And it goes through the parking lot, get your water, nice little spot to say woo-woo, and head back for the last half of the run till you get back to the high school and you finish on the track in the stadium as a completed 5K. So that's a little information about it. And if you guys down front would spread the word to all of your compadres that we're looking for volunteers, and it'd be a great opportunity for the youth groups in the church to be able to come and give an opportunity to lend a hand and help out. So I just throw that out there. So Aaron talked a minute ago about Mother Teresa and her clarity comment. Some of us don't have clarity on what this Run for Christ is. I hope that what I share now will provide some clarity to you in why it is happening and what has brought it to fruition. On the morning of April 27th, last year, 2013, as I drove in my car with my daughter Mackenzie rocking out to music in the back seat, a voice, one that I had never heard before, said, "Run for Christ." Now, I know it sounds crazy, and that's what I was thinking. This is crazy. I'd never had this happen to me. In fact, I remember that it was April 27th because I went home and wrote it down because it was so weird. And all being powerful and vague at the same time, I was left to ponder what this calling or this voice was telling me. And after some time listening and praying over the next few days, I came up with the premise that I was to put on a run that was a run for Christ. The grand vision was to see the greater church, not just UPPC, all running together to celebrate and acknowledge the gift we all have in being grace-filled children of God. By running together, giving together, and worshiping together, we Christians would be the beacon of light for the community of what love and serving looks like, as Jesus taught us all to do. 2 John 1:6 speaks of obedience as a form of love. A little heavy, I know. The difficult part in this for me was being obedient to this seemingly misdirected calling. Much like Moses, when he was asked to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, he must have been thinking, "God, you want me to put this stick in the water and it'll do what?" Not me. And since I've never put on a run before, and I don't run very much, and I actually grew up competing as a swimmer, much like Moses, I felt as though God had picked the wrong guy for this job. But I have learned in the past 3 years what incredible things God can do when one is obedient to a calling, and I'll get to that in a moment. So I told God, okay, I'm in. I'm going to do this. I'll see you through on this one. So during the planning stages for the run, God made it abundantly clear to me which Christ-led cause the proceeds of Run for Christ should go to. In James 1:27, God encourages us to help the orphans. I was adopted at birth, and 2 years ago, I felt called to write a letter to my birth mother to simply thank her for the opportunity at life and for the blessings, the incredible blessings I have had. This is when I learned the power of being obedient. I wrote the letter and recently had the opportunity to meet my entire birth family in Georgia. After meeting her, I learned that I was the product of what would now be termed as, or defined as, a date rape. Therefore, at the time of birth, I was immediately whisked away and sent to an orphanage for an adoption. My birth mom didn't even know whether I was a boy or a girl. And for 39 years until my letter arrived, no one in her family ever talked about the pregnancy or the adoption. The incredible healing that my letter brought to her family, the relationships that have been a result from that, the opportunity for my two moms, my birth mom and my adoptive mom, to meet, and the incredible joy that has resulted in all of this are all God things that were the result of my having been obedient. It is because of all of this that I knew I needed to be obedient in putting on this Run for Christ, and that the proceeds would go to adoption ministries of youth with a mission. God truly works in amazing and powerful ways. Through the development and planning of Run for Christ, our planning committee ultimately decided that August 24th would be the day for the run, not knowing that August 24th would also be the UPPC Fit Celebrating Culmination Day. So, God already had this all figured out. What a way for all of you to culminate the hard work you've done in the UPPC Fit program to come out and finalize that with a 5K run or a walk. Now, I know it's called a Run for Christ, but this is a fun run walk, 5K, which the whole family can enjoy and be a part of. Kids are free. That's an added plus. If you don't run or you're unable to, you can walk. And if a 5K is something you feel you just can't do, which is totally fine, you can volunteer. Thank you for this moment of time up here. Thank you to the church, Aaron, Taylor especially, for jumping on board and not only sponsoring this event, but for being such incredible encouragers. And I would like to personally invite all of you to come out and be a part of this event so that together we can all worship Jesus Christ with our running and walking, while also setting an example of what it means to serve others. Some of my adoptive family, as well as my birth family from Georgia, are coming to be a part. We'd love to have you come join us and be a part of it as well. Thank you.